Well, Josh, we're back here again, and for the third time, we have finished a season one of a Star Trek show. And now, we're about to do my favorite thing and reminisce and live in the past and discuss good times. But
Yeah,
were there any good times this season? I think there was at some point.
there was some. There's a very, very early honeymoon phase that ended quickly, and then it was kind of just flatlined, and then there was some stuff at the end.
Yeah, do you think the honeymoon phase lasted much longer with TNG? Like how with season one, how long did it take us to go okay, I see what they're saying. Cuz I don't remember it's been a while. I haven't watched our reactions back too often, especially in order and especially some of those episodes. But do you have a recollection of when we went okay.
It's interesting because with season one of TNG, it just felt so different in the sense of jumping from the original series and the original series films to TNG. I feel like my mentality was so much more of like a reboot. Like, okay, this is a reboot. This is brand new. It needs time. They're trying to figure out how to do Star Trek on TV in the 80s, And because of that, I feel like there was a lot more slack given to it. Plus, yes, people have told us Deep Space Nine season one and some people say season two like aren't as good. The show finds its footing, whatever. But that narrative was much heavier with TNG, where some people were even begging that we just skip to season three. Like that's how heavy that narrative was. So the whole time, even though season one wasn't that strong, like our season one recap video was titled like, "Oh, season one's better than you think." That will not be the title of this video, But I do go back to remember watching Justice of season one of TNG and talking about the scene between Picard and Data where they have a conversation about the moral thing to do. And I remember saying, yeah, this show's not good yet. Like this episode isn't good, but you can tell this scene's in here. So we did have an awareness that like the show wasn't really that good, but I think we were really just kind of like we were in for it. We were excited to meet these new characters. As we're here, yeah, I was excited to meet the new characters and everything, but my tolerance of generic, boring, episodic Star Trek has been worn thin by over 100 episodes of TNG.
Yeah, uh, part of the entire reason of starting watching Star Trek was to eventually get TNG. So that entire TOS movie build up leading up to that season one. I mean, they could have shown us. I mean, even Code of Honor. After we finished it, we were, oh yeah. I mean, blah blah blah. I mean, and then we and then we see the Star Trek community's thoughts on it, and went, oh shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this doesn't get us in any hot water here. So yeah, definitely no honeymoon phase with Deep Space Nine at all. I mean, I think even partway through episode one, it was just, oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
they're doing something here. It's interesting, but
Yeah.
but yeah, a lot of good stuff. But let's see, let's bring out paper here because I felt going classic here.
Oh, paper.
Problem is, I double printed it, so I can't lift it up. Otherwise, you're gonna see some spoilers, and I don't have any shorts, so I can lift my leg up like that just fine.
Nice. Okay.
All right, so Deep Space Nine season one. Deep Space Nine changes the game, and we move from the constantly moving Enterprise to a standstill station right off of Bajor. What do you think about that?
I was unfortunately spoiled, like I said, right before we started watching it, but I do really like that. Before starting the show, I basically said anything that's going to make this show different, I'm all for. So it not being a ship, it being a station, and it including political stuff being on the outside of Bajor and Cardassians. Those are two species introduced in TNG that I had high interest in. So overall, I did like that going in.
I dig it. I love the idea of Deep Space Nine being the store from Clerks, where it's just all these different characters come in and it's just the same people running the shop. I like to think of it like that. There were a few times where I think halfway through the season, or even towards the end, where, okay, how many times is it just going to be Bajor-related politics? It feels very limited. We have this literal wormhole right outside where anyone can come through at any time. And then we jump back to Bajor politics. Sometimes not too well with the storyteller, kind of a mixed bag. But then other times it just completely threw me through a loop, and then you get a banger like duet. It's like, okay, maybe I'm okay with Bajor politics, and then we go to in the hands of the prophets, where I was I was a little vocal about my opinions on some of that.
I think we always talked about, like, especially with TOS, but also with TNG, kind of like the episode archetypes. And I feel like DS9 just, at least in this first season, just introduced like a new set of episode archetypes. Like through this first season, it's like, okay, is this a Bajor episode? Is this a wormhole episode? Like First Contact wormhole episode? Or is it, your weird typical Star Trek episode contained on, instead of a ship, in the station with a virus or something going on? And it kind of just introduced these new ones to where before in Star Trek we didn't have the typical Bajor episode, or we didn't have the typical wormhole episode, but now those are just like introduced as new ones. So it just comes down to, again, okay, so now that's in this archetype. Is it going to be a good one of those or a not so good one of those? So
Yeah, it's a great point. And we've got our Naked Now episode. I mean, one per show. I can't wait if all the other Star Trek shows that are coming along in the future, if they all have a Naked Now-esque episode, that'd be great. Okay, so instead of all Federation crew members, we have some cast that already work for the station, some non-Federation crew members. I thought that was a very interesting choice, especially with them formerly working for the Cardassians, or like Kira, very against the Cardassians. I think that adds some extra layers to it. I guess I'll just go favorite character right off the bat is Odo. I mean, that guy's my guy. I mean, they set up Quark to be, they shoved Quark down our throats so much that I think we're going to love him. And don't get me wrong, I love Quark, but Rene, whatever his last name is,
Auberginois.
Yes, that. I'm not even going to try. Regular, yeah, I still can't say that. Him, just pitch perfect performance as Odo. Every episode they give him, in my opinion, he's the Data of this show, where he's got his own quirks. He's very set in his ways. He's different, but you give him an episode, and it's just.
Yeah. One thing I will say about these characters of the show is that for the most part, I have a little bit of difficulty having such one-to-one matchups, which is good. Like, a lot of them are pretty different. But Odo is absolutely the Data, or even the Spock. Like, he's the other one of a kind.
Oh yeah, go Spock, Data, Odo.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing, because those are both amazing characters, and Odo, at least through his first season, has lived up to that moniker of being, that special character. For me, my favorite character is still Kira.
Mm-hmm.
She was my favorite character in the pilot, and then as the show went on, she had kind of gotten lost, pushed to the background, not much done. And then in the second half of the season, a lot of my favorite episodes are her episodes. And Nana Visitor, the actress, great in every episode except Battle Lines. So
it literally went, whoa, Battle Lines. Oh!
Yeah. So I really love that character. But the overall idea of this not being a Federation station, Federation is here kind of running it through Cisco, but it being all these different characters not in Starfleet is yet another thing that sets it apart that I really love and opens the possibilities of someone like a Quark or an Odo who don't have to listen to Starfleet, don't have to deal with admirals. They do, in a way, have to deal with Cisco and listen to him, but they're kind of on their own, and that it gets up to so much more possibilities. So I really like that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love the Bajoran politics of they were just under oppression from Cardassia, so they're not exactly looking to jump right into the Federation. It's like, let's have a working relationship here, but the last time we went, well, it wasn't their choice, but we're not just going to go full Federation. We can't trust you. We don't know you.
Exactly, and that's another one good plot that kind of runs throughout is the friction between Kira being from Bajor, being even in their terrorist group. I forget their name. Shankar, was that it?
Yeah. Shakar?
Shakar or Shankar?
Yeah,
they got Shakar. Yeah. Do you condemn Shakar?
That's the only reason I remember it. The amount of jokes I made saying you condemn Shakar.
And anyway, that friction of her coming from that life and now being on the other side, as we see in progress, and her friction even with Cisco. And that just leads to, I think, the biggest kind of overall problem of this season is that great themes, great characters, and then the episodes themselves, 75% of the time, don't live up to that. And like something like Dramatas Persona or whatever, where they all act weird. We get to see that friction between Kira and Cisco, but it's in this weird episode where the plot is, and it's just like messy, and it's like, that's not how I want to see it play out. So keep these characters, keep these themes moving forward, and hopefully we get some better episodes. This just is a very weak batch of episodes.
Yeah. But I think they had a nice little button to that story at the end of In the Hands of the Prophets, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like that ending.
Yeah. Okay. So season 1 of this show is very similar to season 1 of TNG. Multiple growing pains, unearned moments, cringe acting, flat performances, bad scenes, TOS level sets, remember this existing character, and a few diamonds in the rough. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a good point. TNG season one having 26 episodes had a little bit more room for like more opportunities for episodes to be good. So there were a few more that I liked probably overall, but we still only did a top five for season one of TNG. So this is not that far off. I don't think season one of TNG is like super high above this. However, I do think overall it's a little bit better in my opinion. I think there are, we'll get to our top five episodes. There are probably episodes of this season that are better than anything in season one of TNG. But from a quantity standpoint, I enjoyed more of season one of TNG. So that's the main difference for me.
I would have to go back, but I remember for most of season one of TNG was completely flat. Completely, if we did a tier ranking of it, it'd be C's all across the board, with maybe The Big Goodbye as a bit higher up, and Conspiracy.
Well, we did do a tier list of it.
We did?
I don't remember what we did.
We did it all in one day, didn't we? Like 3 or 4 seasons?
I don't remember.
I think it was a live stream.
It was later on. It was not right after we watched the season.
Yeah. But I think for the most part it was pretty much C's across the board. And I guess that's, very similar to this one, where it pretty much C's across the board, duet, a few others that are higher up there. But I do think the higher up episodes in this season are better than the higher up episodes
of TNG?
Of the season one of TNG.
Yeah, that's probably fair. The biggest thing to me is that I'll take an episode of TNG like Justice, or an episode, I'm trying to think of like a not good but out there season one episode.
Of this?
No, of TNG. Like something like Too Short a Season. You remember that episode of TNG with the old guy who de-ages?
Yeah.
I'll take one of those over most of what we got this season that's just bland soup. And this show was very much bland soup with then a few highlights. And then there weren't even that many episodes that I thought were like horrendous or terrible, because it was all just bland soup, which to me is worse in a lot of ways.
Yeah, episodes like Babel or Babel, whatever it's called. Oh, that's another thing. The titles of the episodes this season. Besides a few weird ones, such as If Wishes Were Horses, Move Along Home, they're all pretty much one words and forgettable. Also very much like season one episodes. Many times you make references to season one or season two episodes of of TNG, and I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And you have to give me a full-on rundown. And even sometimes I go, just the other day, doing this research, I was very curious about the season one and season two episodes of TNG, and I'd look at it, I'd see the title, and I'd read the synopsis, and I still don't remember what happened. Like they were that simple. A lot of times it was entity comes aboard the Enterprise, takes over everyone.
Yeah, I think with this one too, that really got me, because with TNG, for the last few seasons at least, I rank it as we go through just to kind of keep track of it. So I started doing that with this one, and I stopped after like 6 episodes. I'm like, I don't even, whatever. So then when I went to go make my list, I pulled up the episode list, and I'm looking at the titles, and I'm like, what the fuck? What is that episode? And then, and I go pull it up, I'm like, oh, okay, I think I remember 1 or 2 scenes. Like, so many of these episodes have straight up just left my brain, which I think happens a little bit less for me typically. But this one in particular, this season, I don't remember half of it. And that's not because it was horrible. I would remember it if it's horrible. I remember Move Along Home, I remember Dr. Bashir's terrible accent dub in The Passenger,
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just like, what was that one? Even If Wishes Were Horses, which was like a goofy out there episode, I remember the Rumpelstiltskin, and I remember the baseball player. I don't remember the episode. I don't remember. So it's like, there's not much,
Yeah, they don't make it easy. Let's see. Both seasons... Hold on. Yeah, I already brought the titles. Both seasons have a lead that have not quite found their footing yet or who they are. But I think, the more I think about it, I think Avery Brooks mostly has Sisko figured out. But his performance and acting style is just so unique and a bit to get used to. Season 1 Picard, I don't think they had any idea what they were doing with him. But Sisko, I mean, based on the first episode, I don't know what it was, but Avery Brooks, just the way he was acting and performing, just felt so oddball to me. But as the season went on, I'm just, oh, that's just him. That's just the way it is. And the more dialogue and performances we've seen of him, and how strong his performance can be when it matters, I, I think I really like him. Because at first I was, I don't know, but he's a bit too weird, and the ADR didn't help with all the ADR in that first episode. But definitely, as now we've come to the end here of season 1, I think I like him.
I think he's really strong in his commander role. That's probably when he's my favorite, when he's like laying down the law as the commander, and standing on business, whether it's to people coming in or even the people on the station.
Yeah.
When it comes to the more personal stuff, I like when he talks with Dax or Jake or whatever and has personal moments, but his acting is still a bit weird. And then also when he's in the ops center and it's the expositional technobabble scenes, he's the worst. I mean, him and Dax are the worst in terms of just flat, like, just Dax. The sub route conduit is flashing, and and he just goes, "What does that mean?" And it's just like, oh my god, I'm like, kill me.
Yeah, it's tough to write those to make those interesting at all. I mean, Colin Meaney, God love him, but even a lot of the times, it's tough. It's tough, and you're just waiting for them to get to the end where they reveal it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is happening, and so I think TNG does a very good job of also to help spelling it out with the visual on the board.
Yeah,
that screen they have in the boardroom. But here, they're just in the ops center, just bouncing back and forth.
And also visually too in TNG, a lot of times, like when they're on the bridge, they'll be at those computers and they'll be pointing stuff out. And also, Geordi, LeVar Burton, is very good at looking and sounding very interested and like serious on what's going on.
Yes.
To where even if I'm not going to remember it or I don't really care, it's at least like I can believe his character, is like, look at this, which is crazy because he wears a fucking visor blocking his eyes, but he's still great at emoting. And he's like, look at this, and over here, I'm like, okay, he's into this. But then you have Dax, who I don't think it's Terry Farrell's fault, but just looks up, this is happening, and this is happening, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, besides Chief, no one seems very interested in what's happening.
Yeah.
That's a very good point about LeVar Burton. He seems very concerned and very, very interested in what's happening. And if something goes wrong, you can definitely tell there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to something goes wrong with what's happening on the in the ops center. So I'll just, this is happening.
Yeah. I think they'll get there, but But yeah, Colin Meaney for sure. I mean, he's great at emoting as well, and a lot of times it's hilarious.
Yeah,
but...
and he always ends with a funny button for the most part. Just what a great addition. I guess we can talk about just cast members both from TNG and new ones if you want to talk about. But yeah, just a great choice of a carryover character, and I'm glad he did it. And boy, was it tough, the episodes where he wasn't there, when he was off filming movies. I mean, one reaction of ours that I watched over and over again is when he shows up in the Nog and Jake school episode.
Oh, yes.
Just...
After the dry spell.
The Negus. It was a Negus.
Oh, yeah, it was the Negus. Yeah, the dry spell when he hadn't been there for like 3 episodes and he walked in. Yeah.
I started to get worried. I mean, part of me's hoping, maybe he's over on the other set filming some stuff. I think bounce back and forth, but I mean, good for him, putting in his contract. Hey, I'm going to go make money doing other stuff too.
Yeah. I think he was a great addition. I also think, just in a more general frame, I think one of the things they did really well this season is balancing the TNG cameos and crossovers to not be too much or overbearing, but they were there, and when they were there, they were good. The Q-less, I thought the Q cameo was great. I thought, they brought in Vash and made me actually like her. Obviously, Chief and Keiko are there. When Loxana Troy shows up, it's great. But it wasn't every... Picard in the pilot, obviously.
Yeah.
But it wasn't every single episode, and it wasn't too much, in my opinion. What did you think of it?
I thought it was perfectly well done where it benefited our characters. Loxana and Odo was a great moment for Odo. I think Picard and Sisko was very important to get across what Sisko feels about this. And with the Q episode, Sisko punching Q, I'm not Picard. Just a nice little touch of, okay, this is our captain, our commander of what's happening here. And Deep Space Nine and making Vash a likable character. I mean, that's a benefit of its own.
Yeah.
I mean, that episode was wonderful. And the Duras sisters.
Yes.
It's all been very slowly, not too much. Like if fucking Spock walked in, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's like no TOS characters yet. Besides, she doesn't count.
Yeah,
Box Swan-
TOS actor,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Doesn't count. But can we just talk about the station and the fact of the low quality, or first, not low quality, but regular quality of a Star
Yeah,
Trek
not
show?
remastered into
Yeah, no.
Blu-ray or anything. It's 4:3, standard definition,
And I gotta
blurry
say,
as hell.
I love it. The station feels so not dirty, but lived in, used. You can tell there's a lot of foot traffic in here every day. Always in the background. Morin's walking by or he's sitting down. There's always stuff going on. It feels very busy and lived in. And just the amount of extras you have to bring on every day. And just the food area, all the camera angles, where two characters are sitting up there and the camera pans up and they're very, very far away. I dig it.
We really loved in TOS the 2-level engineering set.
Yeah, yeah.
So the space station here is kind of like that, where they have the above section, and people are always just walking around, and then you'll have people below in the promenade, and then you'll have like Odo come up from up top, and the camera shifts to him, and he says something. They've been great. I mean, obviously they spent a ton of money building this huge set, so they made it a priority to use it, and they've done a great job with that. The Duras sisters you brought up, another great example, when they're up at the table in the promenade in the higher deck,
Yeah.
and the camera angle is just looking up at them from below. There's been also great direction most of this season. The direction has not been the fault. It's been the writing and just the overall plots. But the direction, I think every single director was a TNG director.
Was Paul Lynch a TNG director?
Oh, good. Yes, he was, but not like a lot. He definitely did like earlier ones or something. I'll have to go look into it.
I gotta say the goat of the season is Paul Lynch. What, he did 6 episodes?
Oh man! But I mean, they brought everyone over for at least one. I mean, you got Colby, you got Cliff Banger, you got everybody coming over who is a longtime TNG director. That really helped, I think.
Oh yeah, kind of like, not like a grandfather type in, but just help similar to bringing in cast members from TNG just to help get its footing and push it off. I don't know if it. I wonder what the reception would have been if they had no TNG crossover, TNG directors, writers, whoever, and it was just a whole standalone thing on its own. My guess is they probably needed to help it get a little push off. Maybe would love to know how excited people were for this. Did they care about this? Where Deep Space Nine? What the hell is this? I wonder what the promotion was like. You're not going to see 2 episodes of Star Trek a week. Oh my god! Make sure to jump over to TBS, whatever it was on.
I mean, they had to be running promos during the TNG episodes, in the commercial break.
Probably,
if they were smart. But yeah, I think. Lastly, on the character piece, I think the biggest strength of the season, just overall, is the characters and actors of our main crew. I think I enjoy all of them. Even Jake and Nog, which was surprising to me because early on I'm like, oh, this Jake is going to be Wesley but worse, and I was like, Nog. At first I'm like, okay, not that I disliked him. I was like, okay, Kid Ferengi, whatever. But no, like I even enjoyed their schemes they got up to. So every single character I love, and that the only detriment of that is then I just want to see more of them, and the plots are very story heavy in this season that to where a lot of them get benched for most of it, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, Nog's the best. He's hilarious. At first I was very, oh boy, Ferengi already annoying enough, but a kid Ferengi, whatever. But no, that kid is absolutely hilarious and subtle. Even Quark's brother. I mean, his one laugh out loud scene I still laugh at in the Nagus. I bring it up all the time when he just pops his head in the frame. Grand Nagus Quark. Just hilarious framing. I guess
What's his name? Rom, I think is his name.
Rom, I think. Yeah. So I guess we got to talk about Quark.
Yeah.
A little bit too much Quark. A lot of Quark. I think if they just scaled him back a little bit, let him have his one scene maybe, just talking to someone, help further along some character, not plot points, but some character, what do they call that? Growth? Character, yeah. What's the word I'm looking for?
Character development?
Development, yeah. God. Just, I don't know, one person at the bar each. I mean, it's happened a few times. When Dax is not in the ops, I think she had a few scenes in, I wanted to say 10 forward, good lord.
The Promenade?
Yeah, in the Promenade.
Quark's Bar, I think he just calls it.
It's Quark's Bar.
Yeah, I think to try to make a comparison to TNG, even though it's not the perfect match, you look at Guinan, and we both love Guinan. But one of the reasons Guinan is so masterful is that she's not always there, and she's not overused. And I don't think I would necessarily hate Guinan, but if she was in every single episode, involved in every single plot, it wouldn't really hit the same.
Yeah.
Now, Quark's a completely different character. The only reason I'm making that comparison is obviously the bartender side of it. But he's a completely different character. But the fact that he has his hands in literally every single thing going on, so he's involved in basically every single plot, then you get to episodes which are then just focused on him after he's already been in everything. And you have these other characters like Dax, Kira, Dr. Bashir, who are just floating around in the background. It got a bit like, okay, I get it. Not that it doesn't make sense. It makes sense for him to be involved in it all, but I felt the Quark fatigue. But I think they kind of corrected it, because towards the end of the season, he did kind of step into the background after the Negus.
Yeah, he did taper off. If the entire time, if they kept him behind the bar, similar to, I don't know, Home Development? What's that Tim Allen show?
Home Improvement?
Home Improvement. Jesus. I was thinking Arrested Development, and I combined the two. His neighbor where you never see his face?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a character in a sitcom like that where he's always behind the bar. And I find it hilarious if Quark was somehow involved in all the shenanigans, but he never left behind the bar. I think that'd be very...
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
That'd be very interesting. Like, somehow Quark's always involved, but he's always just sitting behind there. Or standing behind there. I don't know.
That would be neat, actually, yeah. And come to think of it, most of the scenes of him that I didn't care for as much as when he would leave the bar and he would be, doing whatever shenanigans.
My favorite scenes are just him and Odo just bullshitting. Like, no character stuff going on, just Odo giving him a hard time. And talking about unearned moments, like in Move Along Home, when Quark's freaking out about those people, people dying in that game. It's like, too early for this. Too early for this. The Naked Now episode, actors who haven't even figured out their characters yet, acting different. It's like, I felt so confused watching, because I'm not used to what these characters, I gotta say the word, no, I'm not gonna say regularly, normally act like. So watching it, I couldn't tell if they were acting normal or not. It's just, I guess it's kind of an unintentional, they don't know what these people normally act like, so we can use this plot right now, but it didn't work. Got to save that for later.
Yeah, 100%. Overall, I like Quark. He's not my favorite character, but I like all the characters, so I'm excited to see what they do with them. Also, they've kind of reset the Ferengi to a baseline level where I don't have a negative impression of an episode focused on them. The Negus is not at all my favorite episode, but I mean, it's obviously iconic. We quote it all the time, so we're probably going to remember it throughout the rest of the series, even though the episode itself wasn't that great.
It's one of the few episode titles I am going to remember. Yeah. I'm bad at remembering titles, but I'm going to remember that one.
Yeah, so I guess that's good. Did you want to move on to our episodes? Do you have anything else?
No, that's about it. I mean, it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. It could have been worse. And there was a lot of really good ones. And we're going to talk about our favorites.
Right now.
All right, so we were talking about it. And the entire time watching this season, I was like, it's going to be a short top list. Maybe top 1, top 2, top 3. And I just printed out top 3. And then he texted me, we're doing top 5. So I went, oh, shit. I'm like, okay. I'm going to do my 2 honorable mentions then. So I guess I'll start with number 5. And they're just right next to each other here. So I guess I'll just pick one right now. I think my number 5 would have to be Vortex.
Someday we'll know, cousin.
When Odo goes into the wormhole with that criminal guy, where Odo's seeking out his relative, or his possible relative, where his people came from, that they set up kind of expositionally in the first episode. Just some good moments there. Nothing crazy. Odo is so strict by the book. We got to do this, we got to do that, and then to him to, oh yeah, he died. Nice little moment.
Yeah, that was one of the episodes when I was looking back on the season and I saw Vortex. I'm like, what the hell was this episode? And then I saw pictures of Odo and, the necklace and stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't really remember that episode at all, but I remember the Napoleon Dynamite looking guy, and I remember Odo had really good scene in the ending. Yeah. So I'm like, that's what I remember.
Yeah. Also one of my favorite scenes is the criminal guy, when Odo's knocked out on the ground, goes to leave, comes back, fuck it. Where he goes to pick him up. Just that little, that realistic, instead of just, I want to save him. Just, fuck it. Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So for the patrons, I guess I'll just start with honorable mentions since we're only doing a top 5, so we don't got to wait till the end. For the patrons, a few that did not make their list, their top 5 was pretty definitive in terms. So we do a point scale, and so the higher the patron ranks the episode, the more points it gets. So there was a few that got double-digit points but didn't make the list. So Dramatis Personae, The Forsaken, and Past Prologue all got points but didn't make the list. A number of votes, but their number 5 was Captive Pursuit.
Damn. Okay. All right.
Good episode. Got 57 points from the patrons. That was their number 5.
Gotcha. What about you? What was your number 5?
So I'll just a few. These are episodes that I liked but just didn't make the list real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, just honorable. Not even really honorable mentions because honestly, after my top 5, it becomes just like that C tier. But these are the ones of those C tier that I didn't think were bad, I guess. So the Nagus, Vortex, Past Prologue, the episode with Kira's brother-in-arms from the war. That was very early on in the show. And then also In the Hands of the Prophets. Didn't make my top 5, but I did like it more than you. I'm a big Keiko fan. It's probably her best story of the season. And I appreciated some of the stuff they did there, but I didn't like it as much as I think the community does.
Gotcha. Okay. My 2 honorable mentions are the Nagus and the Hands of Prophets then.
Okay. You would put that up there in your middle tier? Because I think...
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because a lot of the other stuff is just so
Yeah, you're right.
baseline.
You're right. At least we had like a pretty lively conversation about it.
We did have a lively conversation.
Yeah.
I love the Keiko stuff. I love her no bullshit, Fuck you.
Yeah.
And I do love the politics of religion. I poke fun at it, and it's like, oh, of course it comes out of this. Of course the good guy, religious guy's politics. I mean, there was some cringe stuff in there, but overall, I mean, it did bring out some good discussion.
Also, before Neela's whole turn and reveal as being evil, her scene with the chief, borderline flirtatious scene where the chief had to shut it down.
Tense.
That was a good scene.
Tense.
Good scene. Okay, so my number 5, as we actually get to the list, Q-less.
Picard never hit me.
I'm not Picard.
Indeed not.
This is one that the DS9 community seems to not really like at all, but I loved Q-less. It was up there as one of my favorite Q episodes, and it made me like Vash, which is like an instant, okay, you could make me like one of the characters from TNG I hated. That's a W. And also, Q, I like Q as the comical devil on the shoulder, menacing but also funny character, and that's what he is in this episode to Vash and to Cisco. And kind of everyone on the station. We see him like dress up in several different funny outfits, boxing with a mustache. He dresses up as a Bajoran at one point, switches back and forth between the TNG and DS9 costumes. That's what I'm here for Q. So that, that's why I liked that one. And then I will snake it, I guess, back.
Yeah,
So
I lied. That's take out In the Hands of Prophets. Put Q-less as my second.
okay, so that's not on your list. That's your honorable mention.
Yeah, that's
okay.
my honorable mention, yeah.
My number 4 is The Forsaken, the Loxana Troy episode.
No one's ever seen me like this.
Okay.
One of my favorite character scenes of the entire season, that turbo lift scene with her and Odo, that not even a scene, the whole sequence of them two in there. And when she first shows up, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be hilarious, her going after Odo, classic Loxana. And then it becomes something like really deep and serious, and her removing her wig, giving it to him, and then holding him in her fucking dress. Great stuff. So that's my number 4. The patrons, number 4 is Progress with 72 points. The Kira episode with the old man.
Really? Number
down
4?
on the planet.
Okay.
Or the Bajoran moon or whatever it was. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, interesting, because my number 4 is The Forsaken.
Doctor, I want to know everything there is to know about your security chief.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the other plot was, and I don't care, because the Odo and Luxwana stuff was just so amazing, well done, and you pulled it out perfectly. You think it's going to be this, Luxwana is lusting after Odo, which she is, but then it turns into something much more heartfelt and genuine, more of this friendship of these, not like outcasts per se, but not having something that you want to hide from the world, and then both being vulnerable with each other, that they've never been really that vulnerable with anyone else, besides my boy from Half a Life.
Timothy?
Yeah, besides Timothy. Rip Timothy. But, yeah, just an amazing addition of Loxwana Troy. I mean, we'll get to it when we talk about TNG, but I don't think she was even in.
She wasn't in season 6. No,
Yeah.
this was her appearance, basically.
This was her appearance, and for her to, I don't know. I doubt she would have to. I mean, Jean's not even involved with this at all, and her to just come in, give a banger performance, one of her best, and just see ya.
Yeah.
A little vet wrestler giving a younger, little push. Like, there you go.
Oh yeah, giving the rub to Odo.
Yeah.
And who would have thought it would come from her? That's great.
Yeah.
Also, there were 2 other plots in that episode. The Cisco dealing with the diplomats, the 3 alien diplomats, and they get like caught in the fire.
Is that the one? Oh, is that the one with Bashir?
Yeah.
Okay. And like,
completely throwaway.
Yeah.
And then there was one with the dog and the computer.
oh
Where the chief has to trap the dog into the computer, and it's like messing stuff up. Completely throwaway plots. They could have cut one completely and shrank the other and just focused on Loxana.
Oh, Bashir found this trap door off camera. Oh, okay. I'm glad he didn't, do anything smart with being a medical or save someone's life. Just found the trap door. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Number 4. All right. What's your number 3?
Oh, this would be my number 3. That's right. My number 3 is Progress.
Bejorn needs you. And I need you. I like you.
Directed by Les Lando. Just Kira with this guy on this planet. The Bajoran moon. And just this guy's performance is just stellar. Just completely multi-layered. And I love the whole... I love a good downer ending. I love a good... Well, what happened when they beamed? I love it when the answers aren't clear, cut, and dry. Morally gray, not black and white. And just the performative... We're putting bricks on this house. We're putting bricks on this house. At the end, Kira just blows it up. We actually set a fire. Just wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. The patrons number 3 with 84 total points. Emissary, the premiere of the show.
Okay.
90-minute episode. I think if this wasn't stretched 90 minutes, if it was a normal length episode, maybe it could have been really good because there's strong stuff in here. I think it set up all of the characters pretty well. It hooked me into the show, into liking these new characters, seeing that the Chief is here, even though we both already knew he was in the show at some point, but seeing him in the opening credits, as a main character, Picard, as Locutus, all this stuff, I get it. Not on my list, but I get it.
Okay. It's funny. We were talking about episode titles earlier and how bland they are. I looked at my list. I saw Progress, and I went, fuck.
You didn't even remember your own, yeah.
No, because I just looked at the title for a second and went, oh, yeah, okay. They're just so fucking bland.
Yeah.
Where I'm just, God damn. And it's, oh, okay. I just got to remember one thing. It's like, okay, Progress. Okay, old guy. Oh, yes, got it. I need my trigger word. The writer, Peter Allen Fields, pretty banger writer. He did The Inner Light and Half a Life.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that is a good writer.
Yeah. And, of course, directed by Les Lando, just veteran.
My number 3 was Captive Pursuit.
Die with honor, O'Brien.
I really, really enjoyed Captive Pursuit. Probably the first episode that we were both like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
And this was a Chief episode, so of course. But just the whole sci-fi idea of this species coming through the wormhole, I think it was the first ones that came through the wormhole, and that it's revealed that they're actually playing this game with Tosk, where his name's not really Tosk, but he's created as a Tosk to be hunted down, and the guy playing him was great, and his relationship that he develops with Chief, it starts as kind of like a fish out of water thing, and then develops once Chief knows what's going on, and it kind of decides to help him, try to escape. The whole moment at the end with them too, I'm sure you'll talk about it more, so I really enjoyed that one. And then my number 2 and number 1 were close, but I didn't know which way I was going to go. My number 2 is Progress.
What the hell are you doing?
Saving your life.
I really loved Progress, and that was the moment where Kira returned because she had kind of slipped into the background of the whole show.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, finally, a great episode with her, in this old man. I love how he's building the thing outside the whole time, and then she eventually starts helping him put it together, and then she blows it up, at the end.
Wonderful.
All that stuff with them. Amazing scene with her and Cisco, where Cisco's talking as the commander, then kneels down
Yeah.
and talks to her like a person, and then gets back up. That's some great direction from Les.
Yep, great.
And then, all that stuff was great. So that was my number 2. Patrons number 2. In the hands of the Prophets. Only one more point than Emissary, 85 total points. So very, very close. One person's list could have changed that order. Yeah, I thought it was a good one, like I said, but yeah, they really liked that one. Okay, your number 2?
My number two is Duets.
That's not true. I am alive. I will always be alive. It's Maritza who's dead.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, directed by James L. Conway, who directed Justice, which we were just talking about, and Frame of Mind. And another teleplay by Peter Allen Fields and 2 writers, a story by Lisa Rich and Jeanne Kerrigan Fauci. Good for them. COVID vaccine. That's a joke. Yeah, no, this was one of those, okay, we're here to play. Deep Space Nine is here. This multi-leveled performance by this Cardassian was absolutely fantastic, and some people commented about, oh, what was that chief scene out of? That chief scene was completely out of place. Apparently, someone commented, oh, they were talking about the computer looking up the picture on the Bajor. So, whatever. Good job.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, but no, this ended on the scene. I think the first time Deep Space Nine ended on the scene, and it's weird. Sometimes when you do that with a great episode, it just ending on a button like that just elevates an episode so much more. It'll always get a reaction out of me when it's earned. And boy, this episode earned it. And just the complete come around of Kira's entire story, just hating Cardassian. It's in almost every story she's in, and then just ending on that scene of holding the dead Cardassian body was just, oh, that's just good stuff. And everything that was set up earlier just like played off later. It was perfect and not too obvious. Nothing as painfully obvious as, no, don't eat that. There's peanut butter in that. You're allergic. Oh, okay. Like, everything was very, very, very subtle. It was good.
And your number 1?
Oh yeah, my number 1. Oh, my number 1. Can you believe it? My number 1 is Captive Pursuits, of course.
Die with honor, Tusk.
I said Deep Space Nine arrived with duets, but something about Captive Pursuit, like really, it was the first one that really hit me emotionally. The most perfect human character, I think, is Chief, and he was a perfect character to have be the lead in this role. The guy who played Tosk was absolutely great. He also played a Romulan in Face of the Enemy, and just that moment at the end where they say "die with honor" was just so heartwarming and nice. And then that scene with Chief and Cisco, and the thing where he's yelling at him, and then he kind of gives him that little like nod, like, you know, good job. It was just any episode that can move me like that, it just makes me feel good. So number 1,
the great moment with Cisco where he's like, "One thing I don't understand, sir. You know, I thought you would have gotten this," and Cisco's like, "I guess we missed it." It's just like, great Cisco. It might be his best moment of the season. It's not even his episode.
Is this episode 2 where Cisco also tells Odo, you know, like, oh, take your time, or is that a different episode?
Yes. Yeah, when Chief and Tosk are trying to escape, and he's like, you know, take your time, and Odo just starts walking slowly.
He looks back like, oh, you know, the director, Corey Allen, also did Encounter at Farpoint, Final Mission, and The Game.
The Game, yes, Corey Allen, great director. So that's your number 1. Okay, so no surprise here for the patrons, almost doubling the number 2 pick with 154 total points was Duets. For the patrons. I mean, it was the number 1 on almost every single list that was submitted, and then there was, of course, the here and there where it's not on someone's list, but for the most part, it was the clear number 1 for them, and that is my number 1 as well, is Duets.
Husbands beaten until their wives couldn't recognize them. Old people buried alive because they couldn't work anymore.
When I first watched it, I wasn't 100% sure if I liked it more than Progress, because Duet is a very heavy story, and it is character driven, but it's very much, you know, this guy, Maritza, you know, it's kind of his story more than Kira's, but we learn a lot about Kira through it. And then, you know, Progress is more like straight up Kira's story, and that's why I really like it. But you kind of said it best, where that whole ending is kind of, in my opinion, the arrival of Deep Space Nine, similar to the Measure of a Man for TNG.
Yeah.
And you know, the ending and the guy coming up, and I didn't see it coming at all. The guy coming up, the Bajoran and stabbing Maritza and him dying. he's a Cardassian, that's enough. And she looks up, no, it's not. I get chills thinking about it. That's a goosebumps moment right there.
And just making us wait. Camera pans back, and you're just expecting the shot outside the space station, and then Rick Berman, Michael Piller. It's like, yes!
Yes. Or even it's not the end. Like, it peels back and then it cuts to Kira, like, in Cisco's office or something, But it's like, no, end it right there.
Ended it right there. I mean, that's just the stamp where we want you to think about this. We want you to sit on that moment, and it's just wonderful.
Now, in my opinion, I think you brought this up even in the discussion of the finale. I think it would be a good idea if they had just switched this in the finale and made Duet the finale. It would have been like, it's not a cliffhanger or anything, or it doesn't really wrap up the season, but it would have been like the strongest ending to go out on. At the end of the day, who cares? But yeah, basically perfect episode. I get why it's the renowned favorite of the season, and I agree. But Progress for me is really close. Like, I love both of those episodes, so it is really close. Also in Progress, we didn't even touch on, we also have the fun B story with Jake and Nog trying to get the Latinium and trading.
Oh, yes.
Trading all the way up from the what's the fucking snack called that they have or whatever?
Something Tarak sauce or
Yammick sauce.
Yammick sauce.
Yeah. Going from the Yammick sauce to trading for land, and then finally getting the Latinium through Quark. Excellent B story.
Oh, yeah, it's like not important at all. You think it's going to tie together with the others, but it really doesn't. And this Nog, why do we want land? It's like, oh, no, you got to get land, man.
Yeah.
It's the most valuable thing ever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and the steambolts, the sealed steambolts or whatever, and then Chief doesn't even know what they are. Yeah, great.
Self-sealing steambolts.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, just
so great stuff there. But Duet though does take the number one for me, and that's up there in the Star Trek echelons. And hopefully the good stuff that we get moving forward to Deep Space Nine will be reminiscent of Duet in like character and deep, sad stuff, depressing. It's like that's what I want, right?
Yeah. Hopefully we've gotten completely out of the way of just nothing burger plots. And I'm hoping now we can let's get to another bonding of Deep Space Nine. Let's get to that. Let's get to some grief and drama. I mean, sure, give us some plots, of course. I'd love to see how our characters react to some things. Similar to any bad TNG Season 1 or Season 2 episode, in every episode, at least one, there's a nugget of good character scenes in there. Do I remember them all? No, because someone has to make that supercut for me. But you go back and watch, and it's like, oh shit. That was a good moment, but I'm going to completely forget it in this dog shit episode.
Yeah.
Luckily, and that's why I love the bonding so much, because 85% of that episode is just those moments, all in one episode. And a fake ghost mom.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't expect Season 2 of Deep Space Nine to be, Season 6 of TNG or anything. Mm-hmm. But, even looking back on TNG, like people said the first two seasons were bad. I'm a Season 2 defender of TNG. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I mean, obviously Measure of a Man, but, there's Matter of Honor, the Riker episode, which is probably still the best Riker episode where he goes in the Klingon ship. And, there's, fun ones like Casino Royale, or no, that's the 007 movie.
The Royale, yeah.
The Royale. There's a lot of good stuff in Season 2. That's what I hope for from Deep Space Nine Season 2. Just, there's still going to be bad episodes. I get it. Or episodes I just personally don't care about. But as long as, I think it's moving up to the official, 26 episodes of typical length that we've seen.
Yeah.
So just give me at least enough to where I'm not, like, I'll be honest, pull back the curtain a little bit. Like, we would dread sometimes, like when we'd have to switch over to Deep Space Nine. It's like, especially after having such a banger TNG episode, then I'd be like, okay, let's see what we get. And then it's just boring as hell. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, that happened quite a few times where it was making it very tough. But when the episode was good, it felt great. Because going into it with low expectations and then coming out with something amazing. I've told the story quite a bit, but I saw Killers of the Flower Moon before we watched 12 Angry Men, and I was in the worst mood ever. and I watched 12 Angry Men and just have a good episode. Yeah, the power of good TV or good movies is just it's so nice sometimes. So you can be in the worst mood ever, but if it's a good movie or good TV episode, it'll come through hopefully.
Yeah, so I guess the goal, or at least the hope, would be for Season 2 that we're doing a top 10 instead of a top 5 when we get there.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm surprised we even did a top 5 today, to tell you the truth.